whatever language. But as far as that particular language and being credited to the President Trump, that's something that is just an allegation, which has been denied. But yeah, we all know, even we in Africa know that things are not working the way it should work. They all travel. They see things, they see how things are perfect and all that. But the good news, like I said, is that we're work in progress. I don't like condemning people when they're trying, so I believe that they're trying. I mean, people are trying to get there, and we can get there, and we should get there. Other African countries, aside from Nigeria, are getting there. They've made progress in important things. Things work in those countries. Why not? We should be able to work here too. And that's what they promise us. I mean, nobody comes up and says, no, I won't give you light. Everybody say, I'll give it to you in 3 months. I'll give it to you in 6 months. Obviously, there are some things that seems to be, kind of bringing them down, that even people who are top performers, when they get to those important sectors, are not able to perform. Those are things we need to look at and see exactly what's going on, so that they can have a free hand to put us in a better. Once we have our infrastructure in place, we have the natural resources, we have the manpower. We really do have the manpower. So Nigerians are doing excellently outside, because it's just it's a gift that we have as a set of people. So definitely the leaders should look inward and try to make things happen. And this issue of corruption, it's a global thing. The whole thing now is global. If you're talking about animals taking money, you don't think it's only seen by you in Asaba or seen by the guy in Benin City. No, it's seen by the guy in Arizona. It's seen by even the white guys, because some of them are friends on Facebook, and they see things like that. When a snake takes so much money, things like that. So tomorrow, if they tell you Africa, so we should try to minimize things, and especially when things are bad, not to try to propagate it so much, because this is Twitter. It's a global thing. Facebook, so it's not a Nigerian thing. And when they see it, they create the impression that really lasts for a long time. We try our best to make it work, and that's why I'm saying that we have confidence. We have the confidence, There's nothing you can tell me. I'll tell you it's okay. I'm staying in a good hotel. If I can close these and I can as well just be in the United States, you won't know the difference. But it's because as a child, I grew up having that confidence that people care for me. That's why the foundation is looking back to look at the little kids, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, that somebody comes all the way from America with a school bag, give you a school bag, give you chocolate, give you booze, give you pen. It gives you a sense of belonging, pray for you, give you some drinks, and comes back again, and they come back again. It gives them that sense of belonging and gives them the confidence that they need to grow in life.
That said, do you in a way agree with the assertion from your experience living in America where things work and Nigeria where things seem not to be working as expected? Would you just agree with that assertion that, let's say, Nigeria could be described in a way, if not completely, as in a sitcom?
No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I think it's extreme. I think, backward and not up to date and lacking a more appropriate way. If you say something is shito, it's too vulgar, and it's not shito. That's where I live. I have my house in Nigeria. I sleep in Nigeria. My dad's buried in Nigeria. It can't be a shito. So no, I would not accept that. So for me, I believe it was just a statement. It's not something that I want to, dwell on, because, like I said, if you close this curtain and I'm not seeing outside, I might as well be in the country where I lived for 15 years. So yeah, I do not agree to that. I don't think we should continue to dwell on that. We should move past it. Many worse statements have been credited to the president of the United States, worse than this. Just last week, some people said he said teachers can carry guns. He said, no, I didn't say it. So, some people talk the way they talk, and so these are even worse things than we've seen a lot of really, past statements supposedly coming from that angle. But when we are getting so upset and all that, that means you're thinking you probably won. I don't think I won, so personally, because I know I've been everywhere and I can be everywhere. So I don't think I won. But if we keep dragging so much on it, that means we ourselves are not too sure, and we're not where we should be. Not in the 21st century. Not even other smaller African countries. Needs, lying, moving. Life is just okay. But, when you are in this place, you build a road and you just forget about it. No, like I said, every winter when there is snow, there is pothole. So it's not as if God created the place different. God didn't create it. The place is not different. It's the same. Some people may never see it, but I live there. I see the roads that today this is, and the good thing. But where it's different is that when you're driving and your car get busted there, you can call a number, and they will compensate you. Of course, nobody will listen to you in this place. So that's where it is different. Then they have a pothole outlines. We have line. So that means it happens mainly during the snow time. Once the snow is finishing, sometimes maybe it goes away with the thing, and you just see a truck at night, midnight. And this is a very doable thing. That's why it doesn't have to be national thing. I always believe, like in America, we have state police, federal police, local police. You can break these things down. Too much power in Abuja, and they can't concentrate. It's just too much. You have to decentralize this thing, It's just too much. This should be a local government thing. The local government, even village thing, Just get to your truck, fill it, and that's it. If you're not waiting for state to come from the capital to come and do it, it goes from these, like it's teaching time, so it's nice. It goes, then it becomes erosion or something like that. But there, that night, people already come. Midnight, between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. when traffic is low, not to come in 3 o'clock when people are finishing from work. A drive time that is 20 minutes takes you 2.5 hours or 3 hours. That's a waste of time, human time, that you cannot get back. Take your time, you get home at 30 minutes, you have more time to think of what to do the next day. So if you want to do that kind of thing, you don't wait and do it. They should be able to do work overtime or do it at night, and those are the things that people like us will introduce when we have the position to do things like that. You come in, you feel all this, but you have to disintegrate this central system, even when it comes to state, even with security and things like that. If you break it down, it's easier to be accountable for it. You cannot come and say Asaba, the governor in Asaba should walk Idumujewe Uno road, or one I'll complain and say Idumawo road linking to the road is this. Let it be a local government thing, village thing, and empower them. So when I go to them, I can reach out to them. But the guy in the federal capital or in the state capital, he's got too many things to do. So there's just too much power going to the state and even the federal. They should decentralize it.
So, like you're saying, in zeroing it down now to politics down Nigeria, Delta State, and let's look at it locally. By your narrative, these things are doable.
Yes.
It's just the disposition, the mindset, and leadership on one side, and the disposition of leadership and propensity to discharge these things. Looking at Delta State, for instance, do you think there are things that needs to be done to transform, to make things functional?
Definitely. We know that Delta State is not working. We've talked about Nigeria, I've talked about Africa. So it comes down to, from Africa, you called it a name. Nigeria is part of that. Delta itself is part of it. There are few states in Nigeria that are, work in progress. They are working, but of course they're not been there. But you can tell. You can look at Lagos, look at just nearby here, Anambra and all that. You can see that, things are working, people are making progress. But in Delta State, it looks like, there's no solid blueprint that can be worked on, So when people come in, there's no blueprint to work on. They just come in and try to satisfy just the elite, which is what it is, so that it could trickle down. You call the elites, give them share resources with them, and expect that they go back to their constituency and zones and villages and trickle it down. But that's not helping the economy. That's not helping the state to grow. You need to spend money that will help the people below and then grow the economy from bottom up. Definitely, Delta State is not happening. It's not working the way it should work. And we cannot continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. And it's very amusing to me that people who have been doing it since 1999 still believe that they're only ones that can do it. No, we have too many talents. We have too many talent, we have too many brains, we have too many human resources, people who can make a difference. And I think that's the direction we should be looking at if we want to come out of wherever we are now. We're not where we should be. They know that we're not where we should be. I mean, it's very easy to know states that are working. It's not rocket science or anything like that. It's not rocket science. It's a very straightforward thing. You know when things are happening, So we're not where we should be, and that is one thing that we should work on at this time to try to get Delta State to where they belong. It's a very rich state. They have the resources to do many things if they actually concentrate on doing those things, not concentrate on people who are career politicians and just want to, take away the commonwealth of the people, just like that. No, it's not going to work that way. One good thing, though, is that, we're beginning to see a little bit of, direction of where things should be. We don't know if it's because of election or something, but I'm beginning to see a little bit of roads, trying to crop up here and there. But we should go beyond that. We see what's going on in rivers, things like that. People are walking. People should be walking, not just attending burials and weddings and parties and things like that. We should walk. If Delta State walk, we will feel the impact. We will feel the impact. I mean, we should be like the Dubai of Nigeria, because we have the money to be like the Dubai of Nigeria. We should be a place where people should come to and make things happen. We've seen a lot of cities in Nigeria that I see on pictures, and you won't believe they're Nigeria, with powerful road networks. We have Uyo, we have all those places like that. Why can't we have things like that? I mean, the state capital here, you don't know the difference. It looks like just a town. It doesn't look like a state capital. I mean, I don't see networks of things. I don't think things happening. So I think, definitely we need to look into Delta and people who have been in charge and make them sit up, or sit them up by taking them out. Power should go back to the people. Let the people decide. If you think that somebody who has been there since 1999 and then you've still been in poverty, the youths don't have work, the widows are not being helped, people need helping hand. So if you think that they should continue that way, well, that's sad. But if you believe that you deserve a better life, then get your permanent voter's card. The power should go back to the people. If these people decide who rules them, there won't be a lot of grievances. If you decide, they may, like right now when the government in power, the federal government in power, it's obvious that it was Nigerians who put them there. But now they know, okay, we did this, and if you're not satisfied, okay, we know what to do. It's always a good feeling when you know that you are the one making difference, that the power actually belongs to the people. But when they don't, they just stay home and they don't get involved and all things like that. They don't have the moral, disposition to complain. They don't have much disposition to complain. You should just keep quiet because you didn't use your power, when you should, So once they use their power, but I believe that, like I said, our people are not dull. They know what they want. If they allow every vote to count, if they allow people to speak, I'm sure they will make changes that will because we need to make progress. We need to make progress. I mean, things are changing every day, and we need to go along. We must not be left behind. Things are changing every day. Most of the things that is happening today was not there in 10 years. So obviously, then we need to move up with the technology, with the life, the quality of life. People are supposed to be living longer, not shorter. That's what, with advancement in medicine and what people should eat and things like that. And it should come down to us too. We should be part of it. We should partake in that mindset. And in order for us to partake in the mindset, we need to get the right leaders, the right people in the right places, and then make things happen. Today, Delta State is not where it's supposed to be due to so many years of mismanagement. We all know that. It's an open book. It's not something that is hidden, So it needs a correction. Unfortunately, people who are leaders have been part of the decay, So even though they attempt to try to make a difference, but they've been part of the decay, They've been there when things were really bad. We need to change the mindset. It can't be business as usual. We have to change the status quo as it is, the way things should be. So we're hoping that the people will realize that going forward.
Looking at you seem to be a methodical person. You don't believe in castles in the air. You believe that things must not be perfect by default, but that things has to be done. Good things, the disposition is there, the natural talents are there, the natural atmosphere is there. As imperfect as they are, you believe that your source of influence, do you see this as being informed by your scientific background or your business disposition, that things has to be fixed, done this way in a particular way to be able to get results, that things do not just happen on their own?
Yeah, based on my experience of being outside, for a very long time, it's just like what I said, that you wake up in the morning in a town in the United States, the superpower. You wake up in the morning and you see a pothole. So it's natural. This is a road that was probably done last year, but this morning you see one there, you see one there, you see one there, and somebody makes a phone call, and at night you see the truck come in and put things there. You don't just do things and allow it to be on autopilot, which seems like what the country is now. When you don't have position, people put in positions for certain parastatals in 2 years, in 3 years. So it's just on autopilot. Things are just going the way you need to manage things. When the currency was going bad, they had to intervene. There has to be intervention. Why is pounds not falling? Because they're they're kind of saving it. You have to save things. You don't just leave it that way, take your own and let it be. If you leave it for free fall, man, by now we'll be at 1,000 to $1. But when they sat back, they say, okay, let's do this. But you don't let them deceive you that you should leave your things. The Chinese know what they are doing. They make their money low so you can import from them because they are overproduced. So you have to do it the way you want it to be. Don't let your own money become, papers, things like that. So there has to be intervention in things. Things cannot just happen. They know that things cannot just happen. They have to be very proactive about it. And like I said, it is doable. The work of a leader is to get the right person to be in the right positions and things like that. And of course, people have to be accountable when they are given position of power or authority. we have to be very transparent. Let people know where they can see what you're doing and what you're up to and things like that. You're not being paid to steal money from us. You're being paid to work for us. I mean, they're being compensated. So yeah, I believe that we have to do things. It's not simply because I'm a scientist or I'm a business person. No, that's not the reason. But because I've seen that if you don't do it, it doesn't happen. And there we have so much protection. Like I said, we have almost 4 or 5 types of police. That's why they're just there 1 minute. I work for a company that, when something is happening, they call, the next minute they're in front of your house because they're just there. When people say, oh, the police just catch you because you passed the toll gate, it's not a spirit. It's because it's around the area. It's positioned in certain places. It's listening to things. They call him. He comes out and all that. So that's when people can do things. Why would you have a police station without a good phone lines and all that? There are no phone, no gas. But that's madness, And maybe the money comes in, the big boss takes it away and all that. So all those things, one with the social media. I know that social media works in Nigeria. When people complain about things get done. So that is what the youth, we have to continue doing. We can get there. Other African countries have tried. They are getting there, Ghana, all these places, we've seen things happen. But we need really hardworking, proactive leaders. You see the Ghanaian president going to drive his school bus to know what's going on, things like that. We've seen some very active governors in this country walking around, not just attending funerals and birthdays and weddings and things like that, but actually walking, going to the secretariat in the morning to see who is there. Go to the secretariat at 8 o'clock, maybe you see only 5 people there instead of 500 people. By the time you do that twice, they start resuming to work early. They need to start doing things like that. Our prayer is that Delta State will take the position that where they should be. They should be leaders of South-South because it's so diverse, so they have the brain. It's not just, okay, you say rivers, it's mainly rivers, but we're talking coming from Warri and Neoma, all these things. So apart from the actual resources, which is the money that you're getting, you have the talent. A lot of diverse talents in this one state. So it should be a powerhouse. It should be a powerhouse. Lagos State, entirely generated revenue. We know where it is. We're up there. In this area, we know where it is. Nobody's even concentrating on things like that. Those are things that they can look at. And not just pursuing Okada man to pay one thing, but companies and all that, are they all paying, They should focus on that because they have the money coming in from the federal government. There is not a lot of attention on that. Once these are there, we have the resources, then the next thing will now be using it for the development of the people.
Now, let's bring it home to Anyoma and possibly Onwuaduegbo, where you seem to come from. Are there things you think can be done to ensure emancipation or the transformation of what we have now? Or would you say what we have now is adequate or sufficient or working enough?
Yeah, the Onwuaduegbo is, is in, absolute backward situation, very extremely backward. The so-called elite kind of taking over the area, the society, the community, and they just believe that they can just trickle down and give, the handouts to people. It's a very terrible state, and the good news is that we are very talented people outside Nigeria, even inside Nigeria, who don't want to get involved because they believe that the so-called elite. I don't think, I think it's a disservice to humanity if you allow the place you come from to just be under the hostage of some group of people who don't know what they're doing since 1999 and just think that the place belongs to them. No, the place belongs to all of us. I'm from Obo, being in Bumawu, belongs to all of us. Delta State is a state. It's not somebody's name. It's not last name of one guy or the other. A lot need to be done. A lot need to be done. Like I said, it's not working. Absolutely, it's not working, and you cannot continue to do the same thing, have the same guys since 1999, and expect something different. The mindset is already there. We need a new set of mindset. We definitely need a new set of mindset. We have so much potential. Our people are very hardworking outside the country. They send a lot of resources back home to make things work. But obviously, with what is happening, there's extreme hardship. We've gone around, we've seen things. We've seen kids, seen people want to take exercise groups. They stand outside in the sun for 4 or 5 hours, on the line. Christmas time, mothers don't have rice to eat. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. They need help. Yeah, people should be helped. And it's not being done. It's not being done. So definitely, the elites of the Anioma land has failed us and failed the people. And this is something that we need to check. They don't have ownership of Anioma land. They don't have ownership of nobody. They don't. We are very individualistic people. We do our own thing. So it doesn't belong to them. They just kind of hijack. People are trying to hijack things and all that. And there's nothing wrong with aspiring for leadership, but using it right is the correct thing to do. Using it right is the correct thing to do. I think it's time to revisit what we have going on, so that we can have better representation on all levels as it is, and that will move the area forward. We have a lot of potential. We have a lot of potential, and this is something that we're interested in. We're looking closely. We're studying the situation, kind of monitoring what's going on, and see where we can, play a role and have an impact. We have the commitment, and we have the God-given assignment that we need to be part of what is going on. What is going on in our society. You have to, charity begins at home. You have to know what is going on here. You can't work so hard out there helping people solve problems and your people are suffering. That's not good, That's why some comedians always laugh. They say, oh, they go to America for this, they go to this for that, but when they die, they still come back and bury them back home. Because eventually, you still want to come back home, So why don't you try and make those places good? The people who have been in charge of our leadership, the so-called elite, they failed us. They are failing us. They continue to fail us. This is not what we bargained for. This is not what should be. And that's why they are quarreling among themselves. There are a lot of quarrel, a lot of factions and things like that, because their interest is so selfish, and that's all they do. They're just the so-called establishment. Full-time, career politicians and things like that. But that's not what it should be. You help the people, get some other things doing, that kind of thing. Help the people. If you are not in a position to help the people, step aside, not just waiting to, pilfer from our commonwealth. So it's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. It baffles me that with so much talent that we have, a very small, so-called vocal set of people think that they are the only ones that can make a difference in our society. That is zero. It's not true. They're not the only ones that can make a difference. So we know that they didn't make any difference. If something is working, you won't worry about it. So you don't fix what is not broken. Because we're not power drunk or just want to do something. Like I said, we're fully engaged. We can be engaged in anything. I can go to China, buy a container and sell something and still make my money and just be, living my life. But it's not working. It's not working, and they know it. We know it. Everybody, they know it. But they've been they've had the advantage of not having people see what is actually happening before now. But right now, they are like when we had a case of people talking about someone installing people and things like that. Before, such statements can come and go, but now there is phones, people are recording things and going to see. That gives us the mindset of the leaders. It gives us the mindset of the leaders that these people are just for themselves. You just want to take a first-class plane ticket. It means nothing. That's nothing. Go from London, Lagos. What's in London? No. That's the mindset. So that's their goal. We are different. We don't have that mindset. That's not what we're looking for. What does that mean? That's zero. It means nothing. We want to be able to pick up, the widows, the single mothers, the little children, even the youths, to be able to make a difference. That's why, because they leave them to be on their own. They're not setting them up. They now walk into other African countries because they want to go to Europe, and we see all the problems in Libya, people dying and all that. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's not, they just don't wake up and say, I want to go and die in Libya, because they've been left behind. Nobody is looking at what they're doing, So that's a very bad situation. The elite has failed us.
Are there 2 or 3 specific input projects, impact you feel that initiatives you feel that once stepped upon or keyed into, for instance, in Oshimili and Nyocha, that you could begin to see a different
yeah. One thing I believe is, like I said, like the foundation, we want to look at the primary education. We want to make sure that they have the correct infrastructure, they're taken care of, that we give them a sense of belonging. Just like I say, if I walk into a school and they don't have tables, I provide them tables. It's not part of my program, but I know that they need it. Why would they use a brick to write? Things like that. So we need like a task force in the constituency to proactively work on this. We have a school, St. Pius, that all the old students are doing great, and they keep complaining, why is it decaying? Now they are trying to help to do things. People know when things are not going on well. And unfortunately, it's not just the leaders, but it's a generational thing. The generation has failed the younger ones. Our own generation has failed the younger ones. I didn't go to school there, but like I said, when I went to school, I went to a public primary school. I had food to eat, I had fine milk, I had table with a locker, I can open it, and all that. Public. Parents were not like, so why wouldn't I be able to do it for the new generation? You have to give back. You have to normally the generation coming should be better than us, but they are not even anywhere close. So first of all, we should look at the task force in that area, because if you grip it from the bottom that way, the families will be happy. Then we step up to the women. Special programs to help these women, special programs. Their farms must not be destroyed. You don't want some crazy guys who have a private business and carrying his cattle past your farm and eating up all your yams and your cassava. We have more cows in America than anywhere in the world, but I never see any cow on the street. 15 years, never see. They have ranches. It's a private business. What concerns government with